What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I want to discuss the comparison with skill-based matchmaking versus pickup basketball. I'm seeing a lot of videos talking about, how skill-based matchmaking should work, how, players should, react to being in the skill-based matchmaking. You have players defending skill-based matchmaking. You have players saying skill-based matchmaking needs to be out of the game. I'm going to break it down very simple for you. So if you guys want the best breakdown of how skill-based matchmaking is and what it should be, watch this video. With that being said, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also, leave a like if you could. It will get the video out to a bunch of people. We want to spread the awareness on why skill-based matchmaking is not good for Call of Duty. And let's just jump right into it. So, as you guys can see right here on your screen, I'm going to reference this to one of the basketball courts that I have near my house, okay? And so this is going to be something that I want you guys to understand, okay? So if you play basketball or play pickup basketball or play with your friends, like, you understand what's about to happen. And if you don't, please stick around and watch this video. All right, I'm going to break this down for you. All right, so we all know how queuing up in Call of Duty works, right? You either queue up solo or you queue up with your friends, okay? So the first thing is, right, is let's talk about solo, okay? So this top part, let's do this right here. This is going to be pick up basketball, okay? We're going to call this, we're just going to call this normal, okay? All right, so first things first. If you're playing solos, right? Right? Funny, right? If you go to the basketball court pickup, right? Stay with me. If you go by yourself, usually you're going to warm up, all right? And in my courts, we have these right here, right? Boom. You have your 1v1 court right here and two 1v1 courts, right? So if you go by yourself, okay, there's one hoop right here and one hoop right here. And you're going to warm up. You're going to play by yourself. You're going to warm up, whatever. Maybe there's other people playing. And you're just going to be able to watch what's going on and see if anybody needs another player. But for the most part, you go to a court, right? And you know, okay, what you're going there to do, okay? So if you're going there by yourself, you know you're going to play with random people. Some might be good, some might be bad, okay? And I want you guys to understand that when you go and play basketball, pick up basketball, you get to see how good they are and how they play. So you can determine whether you're going to want to enjoy that match and play it or if you're not going to want to play. So for instance, at my courts, right, this is the tryhard court. All right. Everybody knows that this court right here is the tryhard court. Everybody that wants to like try hard is going to play here. This is going to be your casual court. All right. So if you're going there solos and you're going there by yourself, okay, you're going to start here. You know, you're going to be warming up. Maybe there's another person there that you play one-on-one. If you don't know them, you're probably not going to try that hard, right? Because it's just a warm-up, right? But then you can see, and this is the problem with Call of Duty and skill-based matchmaking, is you can see on these courts who's good and who's bad, right? In Call of Duty, you can't see their stats right away. You can't, how you could back in the day, go to their name tag and see what their kill death ratio is, what their win-loss ratio is, and see like what their favorite weapon is. Like if you guys remember Black Ops 2, you can go see their combat record and you can see how they play, right? So someone might have a 2.5 KD in Call of Duty, but they're using a sniper rifle. And you're like, all right, the guy probably like, he probably snipes a lot. Maybe he's camping and maybe he has a lot of low kills, but he's going like 10-2, right? Like you could piece together how people are going to play and it makes you understand going into a match, like, okay, this game's going to be a little bit sweatier or this is not. The problem right now is you don't know that. But in normal pickup, you get to go and you get to watch people play. And, you get to see like, okay, do I want to play in the casual court or want to play in the tryhard court, right? Like, so like if people are in the casual, you'll probably go to casual. Maybe you're not trying to try that hard, that day. You're just, you're just trying to like play a little basketball. You don't have your friends out there. You're just like, whatever. Okay, cool. Boom. You go to your casual court. Cool. Maybe you're playing or whatever and you're getting warmed up, you're feeling yourself, and maybe you're in that groove and you kind of want to try hard. Maybe on the casual court you're playing with a bunch of kids, right? Like you're playing a bunch of, like 10-year-olds that like are like 4 foot, and like, maybe you're not trying that hard. Maybe you're kind of just passing the ball to them, letting them do their thing. And, maybe they have a friend group out there and they're trying hard and, they're trying to do 1v1. You kind of just stand up in the corner and you're kind of just chilling. Maybe you make up a layup or two or whatever. Going into these courts, like, like how hard you're going to try because you can see the level of talent in front of you, right? Obviously, the first thing that everybody's going to look at is the height, right? If I'm playing against shorter people, like, I'm probably not going to try that hard because I can, like hold the ball up here and lay it up, right? Like that, right? And so when you go playing solo, you're going to go and you're playing your warm up your 1v1s and you're going to go to casual court. Maybe you're feeling yourself, maybe you're getting bored, right? Because let's be honest, that's what happened to everybody. Everybody kind of gets bored at some point. So you get bored and you see that like the tryhard court, maybe they need somebody. But again, how like I wouldn't even call this your skill-based matchmaking lobby, right? This just happens to be that the best players that are outside, because let's call this the outside, right? So let me do this. Outside courts. Okay. So these are the outside courts, right? And so like, you can tell like, okay, these are the best players that are out there right now, like whatever. Like, and so like you could see, all right, this guy is shooting threes. He's a laser, right? He's a sniper. He's hitting all the threes. All right, like, all right, well, like, like, all right, cool. Then you have another guy that's like crossing people over, dunking, and you're like, all right, cool. Like, I'll play if I'm on his team or something, or maybe you'll play and you're just like, if he's driving down the lane, I'm gonna get out of the way. Like, like what you're going to expect. So then you go in there and you play maybe a match or whatever, right? And you're like, okay, cool. Like, we just got our ass whooped, and then you're like, well, there's no other team, so let's run it back. Maybe some people on your team are like, yo, run it back. There's nobody else, run it back. And then you run it back. And now you're in the same game again against the same people and the same teams. So to reference this to Call of Duty, you're staying in the same lobby. You're not disbanding lobbies, right? And so now you're playing in this match. Maybe you play a couple more, right? Boom, boom. You played. So maybe you were here for 30 minutes. You're playing your 1v1s, your warm up. You play maybe 20, 30 minutes, whatever. And then you played maybe 1 or 2 games casual here. So then boom, you play your tryhard. You play a couple matches. You play a couple games, you play 3 games, whatever, and you're done. Like 2 hours in, you're done. You're ready to go home. Cool. That's the equivalent of like playing like, I would say argument like, 4 to 5, 6 hours on Call of Duty, right? Like that would be a normal Call of Duty session, right? And then you have your like, this is your like comp core. All right. Now what I mean by comp core is this is where like, these are your sweaty tryhards. Like this is the this is your high schoolers, right? Your tall kids. Like these are like the extreme tall kids, like the kids that are like 6, let's go like, let's just put tall kids. Y'all get it. Tall kids. Y'all get it, right? Comp core kid. Like these are the kids that are in high school. Maybe they're in college. Nah, college ain't gonna be. Yeah, maybe. Don't mind my spelling. College kids, right? College kids. All right. Like this court is where like all the like that's the try. Like this is the competition. You're trying to win games. Try hard court is where like you have people that can try hard or that like they're out there trying to like score 50 points, right? Here, this is where everybody's trying to win, right? Trying to win. Like this is where, your buddies are talking shit to the other department at your job and you guys are like, yo, let's like y'all think y'all good, let's go out here. We going in, and this is the inside core, by the way. This got the AC inside core. This got the AC and everything, right? So you're playing 1v1s, right? You go to the court, right? So mind you, when you play solos, when you go to the court by yourself, you don't go to the inside court. You don't. Unless you might know somebody there, you're not going over there. You're not going to play this, right? Me, 5'5" white guy over here, not going to that court unless I got friends, right? Like that's just the truth. So if I go to the court, I'm going to go here, I'm going to warm up a little bit, play by myself, maybe between the 2 different courts, depending on who I'm playing with. Cause like I personally, as a quote unquote pub stomper Call of Duty, I don't want to play kids, right? Like that's boring to me, right? I'll maybe play 1 game because maybe I'm waiting for the try hard court to get on, right? Because like, this is my max, right? Like I'm going out there, like I may try to win, but I'm also like I'm also gonna try to do. I wanna score, right? Like I'm gonna try to score some buckets. So I might not play like a team player. I might go out there and try to drop, you know, 30 points, shooting threes or whatever, right? Like that's what I would do with the tryhard court. So as a solo person, by myself going to the court, this is how it determines, right? Like this is how it goes. Now, here's the other thing, right? Same thing with two, because remember, it's 5v5, right? When you play basketball, it's 5v5. So if I'm going out there with two people, three people, maybe even four people, I'm still probably not going to the inside court. Okay. It just depends on the level of talent that I bring out there. So now let's say you get a couple of your friends. All right. And you're like, yo, let's go to the basketball. And maybe we play. So let me also put 2v2, right? 2v2, 3v3, right? 3v3, right? So like, if you go out there with your friends, you got maybe like between, not less than 10, of course, you're going to probably play here. Maybe you play fours here, right? Maybe you play 4-on-4 on the full court, right? Maybe you could possibly play 4v4 here, right? You know what I mean? So so if I go with anything less than 10 players or even enough people, right? So like you still, like, depending on the level of talent that you bring to the court. So let's say I bring my buddies that aren't so good. Maybe they're straight trash, right? For the most part, most players that are trash know they're trash and they don't want to play with the tryhards. So for a lot of the times, you're going to come out here, you're going to play on the half court, and you're going to play a little bit casual. And then what's going to happen is sometimes what's going to happen is it's going to get a little bit competitive. Okay? You're going to get competitive, right? And then it kind of becomes a competitive match, but it stays in your bracket. And then you're playing the same games over. Maybe your team switches up, every time that you guys win. Like, let's say one team dominates the other and you're like, all right, we got to switch this up. The players know it. They know that when the lobby is overmatched, and we don't want to stay in that. If I'm on a team of a GOAT squad and the other team is talking shit and trying, we're going to try to beat you, blah, 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 that's going to last a lot longer. But if the team doesn't try and we start dominating them and it's like 10-0, 10-0, then we switch up the teams and then we'll separate it, right? There's your team balancing in Call of Duty, right? So then, then maybe let's say, for instance, right, let's say there's 6 or 7 of us, right? We're playing 3v3, right? And there's another group of people, right, that we don't know. That's like, whatever. Hey, you guys want to, maybe they're over here playing, maybe it's not a full court and they're over here playing, whatever, fours or whatever. And so they're like, yo, you guys want to run a full court, right? We're like, whatever, we go on here, we try hard a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe we go to the casual and we're playing these random people and we're like, all right, cool, like, let's go, let's just play a 4v4 or whatever. And so, some of the players that maybe they don't want to play, maybe the lesser kids don't want to play, and so they sit over here and they play their 1v1s, while the better guys, right, we go over here and we're playing this casual court. And then again, it's the same idea with the tryhard court. You're watching the people on the tryhard court, you're like, all right, we could probably beat them. Like, they're not that good, or maybe they are good, and we want to see, like, yo, like what's up? Like, we want to go here and like compete and see what it's like. So we go over here and we try to beat them, or we try to see if we can dominate them, right? And then we go to that court. Like, that's your normal when you take your friends out to the court, right? And then like all right, you're at your job, bro, and you got your hoopers, right? And you're like, yo, 10 o'clock Thursday morning, see you at the court. Like, that's when you go and you're like, all right, we're gonna settle shit right here. This is where we go. We go to this court, right? And mind you, those are specific days for that. So going back to the tryhard court day, there's specific days. And this is where we get into ranked play. On specific days where you have the tryhard court, Fridays and Saturdays, that's when all the real hoopers show out. That's when they come out and they're like, yo, we out here playing for money. Let's get it. And as a casual person, you ain't fucking with that court on those days. You stay your ass over here. It's not that you can't play, but you stay over here, stay over here, stay over here. You play with everybody else. You could go over there and try, but you got to understand, and most people do understand that that's where the real gets real. This is the real. So Friday and Saturday, real. This is where the real stuff happens. I wish I could move it, but I can't now. Whatever. This is where the real stuff happens. Okay, Fridays and Saturdays. That's where because right here, in the front of the court, this is where the parking lot's at. That's where you line up, and that's where all the people are sitting. That's where they're waiting. They sit in their cars, blasting music. Hey, you don't mess with this court Fridays or Saturdays unless you getting hit, blood, sweat, tears, all in this court Friday, Saturday. You know that though, right? Like as a player, a casual or a tryhard, you know, right? This inside court is more of like the professional reel, right? And so even these guys that Friday, Saturday, they don't mess with this court unless it's like a random, like they go with their buddy. But then they still know that it's not for money or whatever. It's just the, bragging rights to win thing. Okay, so again, if you're queuing up with, a couple of your buddies, 6, 7, 8 buddies, you're gonna play your 4v4s max, maybe you play a 4v4 full court, maybe you guys are feeling like you guys want to run up and down. Maybe there's a team that's whatever, but Fridays and Saturdays, you ain't gonna be on this court, unless you think you're about it. And then early in the morning, most of the week on 10 o'clock in the morning, you go out here and you ball out here. Okay. Notice how I don't say that, like, there's no like even match, bro. There's no evenness. You don't know if you're going to get even. You just hope to God that when you go and you play in this inside court, that your teammates are playing as hard as you are. You don't know how well they're going to play, but you also know how the other players play the game. You go into this competitive match knowing who's playing, like who you're playing against. Like, all right, this guy plays defense hard. This guy's a good passer. This guy shoots the ball well. You have all the transparency and the knowledge going into this. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to you go into this expecting you probably only play inside once or twice a week. For the most part, you're playing here. Outside, you're playing a more casual, loose. Yeah, it might get competitive a little bit. You might have a couple teams that are balanced out. Maybe everybody just happened to be on one that day and they're talking their shit. Maybe it's the other way. Maybe there's a guy that's talking shit and he goes out there and he, fumbles the ball 15 times in a row and it's hilarious and everybody's laughing and it's goofy and you have a fun time, whatever. I mean, you can have fun tryharding, but you get my point. And so this is what normal pickup basketball should be. This is what it is, and this is what Call of Duty should be. Let me tell you what Call of Duty is. Okay? All right. All right. This is ranked. This is what Call of Duty is. This is what Call of Duty is. If I go queue up solo, no matter what game mode I play, I have to try hard. I don't know what players I'm playing. Everybody's trying to win money. Everybody's they're trying to be this because obviously the game doesn't come out with this, but everybody thinks that they're this. And in reality, they're over here. And that's what SBMM is. This is what SBM is right here. I'm going to the courts. I'm going to play by myself. My friends are at work. I don't have nobody. So I start on the 1v1. Bro, first guy I play, sweating his balls off. He's trying to cross me up. He's trying to lock me down defensively. He's trying to be the next freaking, Gary Payton. Get off me, bro. Like, I don't have time for that, bro. I just got here. I just woke up. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting my morning workout in. And I got you over here playing lockdown defense, trying to cross me up, elbowing me, doing all this stuff. All right. Then I'm like, yo, this guy, what the heck's going on here? So then I'm like, all right, well, maybe it's because I'm trash. So I'm like, yo, let me go play maybe in the casual court, supposed to be, and maybe play some 4-5v5s. Maybe not, maybe I'm not that good, right? So I'm gonna go party up with some people or whatever, like randoms, right? So I go play 6v6 domination. Well, then I get over here and everybody's trying hard too. There's not enough space in the ranked playlist over here, so everybody's outside now. And I'm having to try hard. Bro, I just woke up, bro. I just got locked down by Gary Payton. Now I'm over here getting, locked up by that 96 Bulls. Like, stop. Stop. I didn't even get to the tryhard court yet. The real tryhard court. This is what skill-based matchmaking is. No matter what you do, you're playing tryhards. And this is why I don't understand why people think that casuals are staying from this. Casuals, anybody who doesn't know how to play basketball can go and play basketball and be okay. In a skill-based matchmaking lobby, if you don't know how to play Call of Duty, you're in a tryhard lobby. Your skill level is warranted, right? Like I said, if you go to the court with, four or five people, whatever, 4 or 5, 6 people, and you have 2 of them that are like, suck, bro, they shoot, they shoot like this or whatever. They shoot with one hand or something, or they don't know how to dribble, right? When the good players decide, to go to the courts, they stay over here in their own little like competitive stuff. Now, can they still play with us? Absolutely, right? But guess who's going to get carried? We are. We're going to carry them. My bad, I said that backwards. We're going to carry them. They're going to get carried, but we're going to carry them. But if I'm playing, like if you play in a game like this, right? And there's 6 people, 2 of them are trash. We evenly spread them out based off of picking, right? We have 2 captains, and sometimes the trash cans get to pick, but they know who's good too. So they get to pick, and it's more fun for them. It's a pickup game, right? You get the opportunity to, there's team balancing. I don't like to call it team balancing because I don't think when you go play pickup basketball, people know, right? People know who's good and who's not good, right? And so, like, for the most part, usually what we'll do, depending on the day, is like the good players will let the bad players be captain sometimes. But for the most times, the good players are going to be the captains. They're going to pick, and they're going to, and then what we do is we try to motivate the bad players, right? As let the community decide how the game's going to be played, right? Stop forcing us to play a certain way, right? Like if you came down here and told me every time I go to my courts, I got to try hard, I'm not going to want to play very, very often or very long because I'm going to be sweating the entire time, right? And so like this right here is what Call of Duty should be. You should be able to, let's come over here. See right? See everyone's stats, right? You should be able to see everybody and how they're playing and how they play, right? Let the player decide how they want to play, who they're going to play, what they're going to play, right? Don't force it on us, okay? If I'm trash and I know I'm trash, I'm not going to go try to get into a full court. Now, if I do, right, let's say the tryhard court's like, yo, like we need one more. Come on. And they beg me. I might go play, but I'm going to make it very aware to them. Yo, I'm not that good. And they're going to see it, right? They're going to automatically see it. You can tell when people are not good. And so what happens is they start to help you. Yo, just cover the worst player on their team. Yo, you cover that guy. Okay, cool. Like, yo, just sit in this corner, and when we pass to you, just shoot the 3. No problem. Like, that's what happens, right? And so like they may play 1 or 2 matches. If they're on the winning team, they may stay. If they're on the losing team, they may play 1 game and then they go back to playing their, 1v1 because maybe other people have showed up. They leave the lobby. That doesn't mean just because they leave the lobby doesn't mean they had a bad experience, but they knew going into that they were gonna, they're bad. They know they're bad. They don't care, right? Bad players don't care. They know they're bad, right? It's the problem when we get into the middle ground of like the players that kind of understand what's going on, but they don't know. And the middle ground is, that's the problem because people understand what's going on with the game, right? They know whether they're good or whether they're bad, but they want to compete, and that's the problem. And so you're making the game for like the small percentage of people that don't really care to be good at the game, but then you're bracketing everybody off, right? Like for the most part, if you look down here at the bottom, right, like in the 1v1 courts, 2v2s, that's where most of the like players that don't really care, and like a lot of people are going to think, oh, well, this is bracketing. It really isn't, because if I'm good, I can still play with these people. I can play anywhere in here. If I think I'm good enough, I can play anywhere. But if I'm not willing to try that hard, let's say I don't want to play a 5v5 game. I'll play over here and play 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, 4v4, right? Like, you know, and so the again, like this is the thing, right? Is like, you know, everybody knows how well they are, but they don't know how everybody else is. And that's the frustrating part, right? Is like see everybody's stats is like number one, right? And so like that's where like, you know, you got to be able to show me like, let me see who I'm playing. Let me see their combat. Let me see what weapons they use. Let me see all that stuff, you know? And so that's number one. And then like number two, like, bro, like ranked play needs to be at launch. Like, I just don't understand why this isn't a thing, right? And so you have an issue where like again, like the way Call of Duty is meant to be played is on the developer. The developer needs to determine how you want your game to be played. All right. Let me break something down to you guys. Call of Duty, when it comes to the competitive side, takes so much out of the game, which that tells me is that the game at its core is not competitive, right? Think about this. When you play competitive, you drop the players down to 4v4. You play hardpoint 4v4, you play search and destroy 4v4, and I think it's control 4v4. You cut half the maps out of the game. You only play a rotation of 5 or 6 maps, and you can't even use any kill streaks. You can't use most of weapons. You can't use rocket launchers. You can't use certain secondaries. You can't use, and then they ban half the weapons. Like, Call of Duty at its core, from the way the game is being made, is not competitive, which is fine. But if you're going to have a competitive playlist where people want to try hard and actually think that they're going to like be a pro player, you need to have ranked at launch. But have a ranked at launch and call it a preseason. Don't call preseason without ranked. No, you can have ranked and call it preseason. Let everybody warm up. Don't give them like a rank right out the way. Give them just the playlist so that way they can practice the playlist, practice playing 4v4, and then have the season start, have a build up to it, you know, like a regular like basketball, NFL, MLB, have a preseason and then the openers of the game or the openers of the season, and have that happen. And then in your regular playlists, right? That's where your casual is. Some matches come up here. Some matches you're going to try hard. Some matches you're going to be casual. Casual. Some matches you're going to play by yourself. And it's all random. All random. Okay? And then sometimes, right? Like, if there's 10 matches that you play in a row, 7 to 8 of them, pretty easy, and then, 8, 9, and 10, 2 to 3 of them, they're your comp. You're playing a game where you need to win, right? So some games you're going in there, you're like, I'm trying to drop 60. I'm trying to try hard. And again, the definition of try hard, right? Try hard, there's two different definitions, all right? Two different try hards. Don't mind my spellings, okay? Okay. You have the one who wants to win. Then you have the one who wants to drop 50 kills. Okay? There's 2 different tryhards. And we need to be understanding of that. And we need to make this very clear for Call of Duty because they obviously don't understand. Okay? When you play competitive, obviously when you play ranked and competitive, the goal is to win, right? Okay, whatever. The goal is to win, okay? And so that's one tryhard, right? You have the tryhards that want to win, right? When we talk about tryhards, we're talking about in a casual setting are the ones that are trying to go 50. The problem is every time we play in these skill-based matchmaking lobbies, all 6 of the players are trying to try hard to drop 50 kills, and no one's playing the objective. Hence why it seems like the games are even all the time. Games should not be even all the time. We only want that in an actual competitive environment, right? But when I hop on and I'm just trying to play, I should have the opportunity to try hard to get 50 kills. I should have the opportunity to play easy opponents, and then I should have opportunity to play even matches all in one. I should not be playing even matches every day, because here's the thing is, again, there's two different tries to tryhards. There's the ones that are going to try to win the game, and then there's ones that are going to try to drop 50. All right. The problem is the problem the way the game is now is you can't drop 50 unless you're in a reverse boosted lobby. And so there is a whole problem with skill-based matchmaking. And I would love to know what you guys think about this, because from a casual player, if you went and played basketball by yourself and you didn't really care for basketball that much, I mean, let's be honest. Nobody is going to go play basketball if they don't like basketball. Nobody is going to play Call of Duty if they don't like Call of Duty. So if you like Call of Duty or somewhat of Call of Duty, you're going to put up with some things, okay? And so as a casual Call of Duty player who likes Call of Duty, or maybe used to like Call of Duty, or likes one of the past 5-year Call of Duties but doesn't play it very often or something like that, you know what you're coming into when you play Call of Duty. So this protection of these newer players / trash players doesn't make sense, because they understand that they haven't played the game in a long time. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to retain them. Why are you trying to retain players that aren't taking the game serious and aren't going to put in the hours, right? They'll let those players come in and go. They will play the game longer if more people around them are playing the game. So for you to do that, you have to have fun matchmaking. So if I'm maybe not as good, maybe my level is the same as that guy, and I come in and I start to get good and I'm playing and I'm dropping 30, 40 kills a game, I'm winning a lot, I'm having a good time, I'm going to be like, bro, get on. And then I'm going to carry him, and he's going to have a fun time too, because he's going to be in easy lobbies with me, because we're going to be destroying everybody. But this guy that hops in, and let's say I'm like, yo, play some Call of Duty with me, and he goes 14 and 25, and I'm 23 and 22, I don't think he had a good time. He's going to be like, bro, like I couldn't do anything. And he's just going to get off, because he doesn't care about the game anyways, because he doesn't take the game that serious. He's not a tryhard, you know? And so we gotta, bro, you guys have to understand, like, if you're a new player or a trash player and you're defending skill-based matchmaking, excuse me, you're not benefiting. And I want to talk about this, you get better playing in the same lobby. No, you get better by playing the game a lot more and learning things and learning how different people play the game. If I came in to this try-hard lobby and I'm playing against everybody that's trying to try hard, and we're all doing the same thing, I'm not going to get better. I'm only going to learn how to play that way. If I go here and I'm playing randomness, I'm going to play against somebody who, let's just use basketball. Let's go back to again. Let's go back. I go to the tryhard. Everybody I play does a behind the back crossover and then crosses over in front of them and does a move. Everybody's doing that. Well, that's the only move I'm going to learn, and I'm going to learn how to stop. That doesn't make me better. And that's honestly why I kind of don't like ranked sometimes. That's a different video for a different day of like how like I feel like the way ranked is like, it doesn't necessarily define skill. That's why there's only 1% of people that are actually in the top percentage, because it's just not, you know, but that's a different day. So if I go back to my normal pickup basketball or my normal lobbies where I play random people, I got one guy that's really good at a front cross, or I have a guy that's really good at a hezzy. I have another guy that's really good at behind the back spin move. I have another guy that's really good at shooting. I learn all these different things, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know you could do it that way, or I didn't know that's how you stop that move, or I didn't know that you could pair that up with that. You can't get that in Call of Duty now, bro. You can't get that. I'm playing the same people using the same weapons, sliding around the map, bro. I want to play people that are using a sniper and that are camping on a certain spot. I want to use a guy that's running around with a shotgun with a different attachment on it or a different, like I want to see all that. I want to see different people play the objective differently. I don't want to play the same style every day. And here's the thing is there's no ranked in the regular lobbies that we play in now. So you saying like, I need to get better. Okay, cool. But let's go back to the first point. How do I know I'm getting better when I'm playing the same matches every day? Every game, every lobby, it's the same players, the same matches, the same score. It always ends 200 to 199 in domination, 75 to 74 in TDM, and hard points 250 to 249. How am I getting better? How am I supposed to know when I don't get an opportunity to see if I'm better than the next person? How am I supposed to want to continue to play the game if I don't feel like I can go on and drop a 50 kill game? I don't want to go 20 and 20 every game, right? So y'all got to explain it to me, because for those who defend skill-based matchmaking, I literally just broke this down for you. This is the best way you can explain it. This is the best way for everybody to understand it. If you don't like sports or don't understand sports, hopefully this made it even easier to understand. If you don't like sports, you wouldn't even be playing this game anyways. You wouldn't even go to basketball, But if you were, I guarantee you probably wouldn't want to play in any of these bottom 5, and you probably wouldn't want to play in this top one or this one over here to the right. I guarantee it. You would want to stay over here in your 2 little boxes or your bottom 4. You want to play with your friends, right? Because at least like no one's gonna really like beat you up or make fun of you for being bad. Like they're your friends. They asked you to come out, right? So again, we're not compensating. We're not saying, oh, hey, that random guy that never played before, he's here. Let's change up the rules. Nobody can foul him. Nobody can defend him within 2 feet. No one, like, they wouldn't do that. Like, no one would say, okay, cool. Like, no one would be like, yo, like, all y'all that are good, y'all need to go over here, and all y'all that are the same skill level need to come back over here and play with him. So all his friends that maybe are be better than him have to go over here, and he can't play with his friends. He would be like, yo, I'm leaving. I'm not gonna play if I can't play with my friends. Think about that. Think about that, Call of Duty. Think about that. You wouldn't go play your local pickup basketball with your friends, and then when you got there, they told you couldn't play with them. You had to play with these other randoms, and then they're trying the same level you are. You wouldn't want to play that. Think about that, Activision. Think about that, publishers. Think about that. Think about that. That was a good point right there. So again, bro, when it comes to these skill-based matchmaking lobbies, let us see everybody. Everybody's stats. Bro, stop hiding it. Bro, if you can't understand, bro, you pay. Look, listen to me very closely. Listen to me very closely. Activision, Treyarch, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer. Okay? You make a game the way you want the game to be played. If the game is good, people will come. If you keep making the game for people that don't want to play the game, then the people that wanted to play the game and actually bought the game are not going to stay, and they're going to leave. And so the people that you're making the game for who already don't want to play the game are not going to make your sales. Right? So think about that. If you just make a good game, and I know y'all saw the GTA 6 trailer, all the different people that have played the game over the years, random people posting their reactions to the game. You know why? Because at the core of the game, it was a good game. You don't hear people complaining about how they want the GTA 5 online to be changed. Yeah, there's probably, bugs or things that they don't like, but like for the most part, people like the core of the game. Make your core of the game, which is your skill, which is your matchmaking lobbies. Make them random. Put your skill-based matchmaking bullshit in your ranked play and have everybody just play random. Ping is king. Connectivity should be 100% first. And let everybody play with it, whoever. And if you are trying to defend people from getting their ass whooped, they paid $70 or $100, whichever version they got, and they knew what they signed up for. So why are you doubling down on that? They paid $70. They know what they came up for. They know that they got to get good at the game. So they need to get their ass kicked sometimes. You know? And to defend the good players, like, bro, like with all these skill-based matchmaking lobbies, you can't even get higher than a 7 kill streak. So 80 to 90% of the kill streaks are useless. And this is why everybody complains about the UAV spam. Because if I knew that I can go on a 15 kill streak, I wouldn't use a UAV. But I can't go on a 15 kill streak 90 to 95% of my matches. Because the skill-based matchmaking. And so I'm not going to run higher kill streaks. I'm going to run UAV, counter UAV, and a precision airstrike or whatever, cruise missile. Because I want to get kill streaks. And I want to be effective. You know? Just because I'm running around with a riot shield doesn't mean I don't want to earn kill streaks. I want to be rewarded for going on a kill streak, no matter what weapon I'm using. No matter how I'm playing, I should be able to use whatever the game gives me. But I'm being penalized as a good player because if I use a riot shield, everybody else is at the same skill level. They know how to counter a riot shield. And mind you, it's part of your game. You have to get challenges with it. But see, and then this is what y'all do. Y'all cover it up by you throwing Rust and Shipment out there. And you know what Call of Duty's turned into is this first 2-month camo grind, right? Everybody tries to get the camo. That's what they do. And then after January, bro, they're bored. Because guess what? Most Call of Duty players don't play the game to win the game. They don't care about winning. First off, that comes with how you develop the game, right? The way that the game is developed is it's not about playing competitive, right? The core of the game is not competitive, so a lot of players don't play the objective. So after you get out of getting your camos, what is the next best thing to do? Get the highest kill streaks in the game. But how are you supposed to do that if every game is even? You're playing against the same skill level. And it's not about the opportunity to have an even match. The opportunity of fairness is being able to win and being able to dominate sometimes and also getting your ass whooped sometimes. So think about that. I don't want to go play pickup basketball and have to try hard and sweat my balls off every time. Also risking, injury. People are fucking hitting me, fouling me, and elbowing me in the stomach. Like, I don't want to deal with that. Especially if I didn't go there for that. Especially if I got off work after an 8-hour shift and I'm like, yo, it is Friday. I know where the tryhards are. They're on the tryhard court, but I'll go play on the smaller courts and get my basketball in for the Friday night before I head home. Get my workout in because I don't want to go to the gym because the gym is packed. At least the courts, I know I can get there and there's going to be matches available. I can hop on. Get me a 2-hour session in and go home. But if I got there and I was told I got to play in the tryhard court, I'm immediately going to put my shit back in the car and I'm going to go home. So, that was a long video. I hope y'all took something from this. I hope y'all understand where I'm coming from. I hope this was a very good comparison because I think it is. Skill-based matchmaking is not good for any game, and especially isn't good for Call of Duty, especially when the core of the game, and we got to think about it, how the game is made. If the skill-based matchmaking is in game for a non-competitive game, it's not going to be fun. Since Call of Duty 4, Call of Duty has been about kill streaks. Earning the highest kill streak in the game. It is not about playing fair, even competitive matches. That is why they came out with League Play in Black Ops 2, because it became a competitive game when at the core of it, it wasn't. But then Black Ops 2 made the game core competitive, which then they still had a ranked play for it, which then made the game, everything was balanced for the most part. And so even casual fun was still competitive, but you still had the opportunity to dominate if you were good. That's why Black Ops 2 is the best Call of Duty ever. So with that being said, leave a like on the video. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know why skill-based matchmaking is trash. and let me know why you think it's not trash. But I promise you that, like, if you think it's not trash, then you just don't understand the idea of going and playing pickup basketball. And you don't play pickup basketball. Or you don't understand what you want out of the game. You need to say what you want out of the game. If you want to play competitive and you want a fair match, go play ranked. But don't come into our random skill-based, random lobbies and talk about how you want it to be fair. I didn't jump into 6v6 domination to win the game. I jumped into 6v6 domination to drop 50, 60 kills because everybody should be trying to go to B. There's a sense of organization somewhat. Obviously in Modern Warfare 3 right now, all the spawns are flip-flopping very easily. So there's less organization. So don't bring your, well, I want fairness. I want even. I don't want to get pub stomped. I mean, I don't know what you expect. You're not going to be good at the game right away. And you're not going to know if you're good in the game based off of skill-based matchmaking lobbies. So, again, with that being said, leave a like on the video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, please. I want to get this video out. I want people to understand what skill-based matchmaking is really about. I hope this breaks this down. Good for you guys.